What's up, guys? This is John from Check Us First. I'm here with our sponsor player, Brandon. And Brandon, what did you just do?
I got top 52 at ARG Raleigh.
And what deck were you using?
I was playing Infernity. So,
all right, let's get right into this.
Sure. So, Infernity's one Archfiend. It's the best card in your deck. It searches everything, so really, really good. One Patriarch. It's a bubble man for the deck. If he's the only monster in your hand, you can special it. And then if he's engraved and your Infernity monsters will be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can banish it and they're not destroyed. It's a continuous effect that doesn't activate, so they can't strike it, which is kind of cool. 3 Necromancers, 1 Avenger. I played the tuner version. I just felt like making boards of like synchros with the insane boards that you could already make would just be an insane blowout and you just win the game. So Avenger was really good. Plus he has a cool effect where if an Infernity monster is destroyed by battle and he's engraved, you can special it and it copies the level of the monster that was destroyed. So it makes it where you can keep your barriers always live, where you're not forced to bury something you don't want to. 2 Mirage. 3 Greffer, and 3 Armageddon Knight. Initially, I was not playing 3 Greffer. I decided to up it from 2 to 3 the night before. It was really, really good. I was glad I made that decision. 2 Summoner Monk, 2 Monk and 2 spells is game. It's really, really broken. And just there's a lot of insane combos you can do with Monk. And it also, a lot of times, it'll bait out their hand traps. And then if they don't have a hand trap for that, that means they probably just don't have a hand trap. Because if they know what you're playing and they have Ash, they're not going to let this resolve. If they don't Ash this, that means they don't have it and you'll probably just win the game. So it's fine. 1 Stygian. 1 Harris, when he sits a grave by card effect, or if he's destroyed by battle, you can search anything with Archfiend in the name. So it allows you to get Infernity Archfiend from your deck, which is really broken because you can just pin him summon it out and like win the game. 3 Darkworm, he's essentially monkey board. So if he's in grave and you have no monster on the field, you can special summon him from grave. And then when he's normal or special, he searches a Supreme King Gate Pendulum monster from your deck. So it's really, really cool. And then his other effect is if he's in your hand, you can activate it if you have no monsters in the scale, and he immediately plays the other scale from the deck. So that's why he's like essentially like monkey board. And it's came up a lot just because not so much the searching, but like if for some reason like your board got cleared, you could bring this back and then have something else for like a free level rank 4, and that just like allows you to grind through the game. So it's just really good in that aspect. The Supreme King Gate, you just play this because it's a 0 scale and you can search it off of the Supreme King. And then 1 Performer Power Sorcerer. So this is gonna look crazy. Actually, a friend of mine, shout out to Demonte aka Flea in Atlanta. We were like playing this deck, and he gave me a lot of ideas. And so a few nights before the ARG, he's like, "Yeah, we should play Summoner Monk. I mean, not Summoner Monk, Sorcerer." I'm like, "Why are we playing Sorcerer?" And he was explaining to me that the skills you can search are Performer Powers. So you can get this out of the deck with Monk, pop himself and Monk to immediately get 2 scales. We also play another spell that gets him from the deck as well, as I'll show you. He's also a low scale, which kind of comes up. So he just has a lot of like different aspects, and he can correct your hand. Also, if you draw Harris and you can like special summon this, you can use this to pop itself in Harris, get 2 scales, and then because Harris was destroyed and disintegrated by card effect, you immediately get Archfiend, and you have 2 scales to pin him summon it. So it was really, really good. I didn't draw it as much as I wanted to, but it was really, really good in testing, and when I did have it, it was just pretty insane. So, and then obviously the Lizard Draw and the Swim Cobra. You literally only play these because they can be searched off of this, and they're reptiles, so you can search off of Fairland. Those are the only reasons that you play these cards. But that's it for the monster lineup. Spells, play 2 Terraformings, because you play field spells, the Drag Ravine. The Dark Worms are dragons. So you can discard a card from your hand, so you can discard like something you don't need, like a Stygian or something. Send the Dark Worm, special the Dark Worm because you don't have any monsters. Search your scale, and then have a free normal summon to make a rank 4, which will search the other scale. So it's just really, really good. Fixed your hand, baited out hand traps, and it was just really good overall. 1 Black Garden for the Armageddon Greffer combo. So essentially what you can do is if you have Greffer and another Dark in this, or if you just have Armageddon Knight in this, you can activate this, play Armageddon Knight, Armageddon effect training 1, this is training 2. You send Summoner Monk, and you give them a token. The token is 800. Then Black Garden says you can pop all the plant tokens that are on the board and pop itself to special a monster from the grave who's equal to the total attack of the tokens that were destroyed. So you pop this and that, the token's 800, you special a monk from the grave, and then you just kill them. So it was really, really good. I was glad that I played it. I always started out games 2 and 3 because you just didn't have to have it. It was kind of like a win more card, but it was really, really good to like fix your hand and establish a board when sometimes you wouldn't be able to. So because sometimes you just open too many spells, so being able to get the monk to fix that is just how you win. So 2 Allure. I was playing 3. I just wanted to cut it down. I didn't want to go over 40, so I just decided to play with 2 Allures. No Into the Void, just because if you go Into the Void, you're committed to like comboing that turn because you have to discard your hand. So if you have too many monsters, you still have to do like awful plays to get rid of them. Otherwise, you're going to lose them anyway. And then if they like max you and for some odd reason you can't deck them out, you're committed to keep going because you're under Into the Void. So it was really awkward sometimes with that, so I just decided to play 2 Allures. Plus Allure can banish the extra monster you have in your hand, make it where you can play where sometimes you wouldn't be able to. So it was just really good. 1 Dragon Shrine, sends the Dark Worm. You just play 1 of it because you also play the Dragon Ravine and the 2 field spells, so just didn't need it. Pendulum Rising, this is the card that we use to get Sorcerer from the deck. So like you can go Monk Effect, it's a special. If they ash it, you can then tribute off the Monk to get the Sorcerer. Sorcerer can still pop itself to get another scale. So that was really cool. There's also hands where you have like Necro and Archfiend. You can Pendulum Rising off the Archfiend to get the Sorcerer, pop itself to get a scale, then Pendulum the Necromancer to bring the Archfiend back and search and like just keep going. So it was really, really good. And it's a cost of tribute, so it's just really, really good to like clear out your boards. 1 Rhoda for the Warriors, obviously, and then Foolish, and then Launcher, and essentially another Launcher. These cards obviously are insane. I had so many people try to ogre this card, and you actually just can't ogre it, which is pretty funny. So this card was insane. The Soul Charge, every hand that you have Soul Charge, you essentially just win. It's really hard to lose if you have Soul Charge in this deck. It's actually just insane. So it's pretty broken. And then I only played 3 traps. It was the Infernity Barrier and 2 breaks. I was playing 3 breaks before, but again, I wanted to cut it down to 40. And a lot of the times when I was testing, a lot of the games that I would lose is because I had a break in my hand that I didn't want to have. You can always search these cards for the combos. You just really don't want to draw them. You want to draw combo pieces and then search these throughout the combo. And generally, if you can go barrier double break with a board, they probably can't beat you anyway. I was playing 3 just in case like they randomly got past my board and I would have 1 more card that I could search. But in testing, I just realized that if they can play through the board of multiple firewalls and void overs and this, then they're just going to beat you. But that I never comboed somebody and lost. So I just felt like 3 was just fine. So that's the main deck is 40 cards. Extra deck was 3 firewall, one of the most insane cards I've ever read in my life. This card's actually just insane. This is what makes the deck work. Just being able to manipulate the special summon effect from your hand. Also being able to add combo pieces back from grave to your hand to like continue combos pretty broken. And there's a lot of like different ways you can just beat your opponent. You can use this to deck them out. You can use this to link them out. There's just a combo where you can go like Black Garden and give them so many monsters and link them out where they can't get rid of the token and they just lose. So this card enables all the degenerate decks, and it shouldn't be allowed, but like if it is, I'm gonna play it. So like it's pretty broken. 2 Gaia Saber. You need 2 now because we lost Emerald. It used to be you could just play 1 and then Emerald bring this back and then make 1 free firewall, but we got rid of Emerald, so you need 2 of them. 2 Proxy Dragons, you need 2 of that too. All these just come up just for the combos because you need extra link monsters to be able to keep playing. For the Exceeds, 1 Tornado Dragon, King of the Frail Imps to search the scales. 1 Dweller, just for like True Draco and stuff. The deck's pretty cool too because you can do a lot of different combos, and if you know what you're playing, if you know they're like playing True Draco, you can make this a Dweller. If you know they're playing like something else, you can make Tornado Dragon. So it's really versatile on what you can do to your opponent. And then 1 Levier. Decided to play this just because I didn't want to like auto lose to the Trickstar deck if they reincarnated me and I had Archfiend in my hand. I just didn't want to auto lose to that. I wanted to still be able to play through that. If somebody randomly had DD Crow in their deck, I just didn't want to auto lose. So this is pretty broken. Also, you can do plays where you can banish the Mirage and then Levier back the Mirage to do it again. Because Mirage just says it can't be special from grave, so you can special from the banish zone and just keep going. So that's pretty cool. And then for the Synchros, 200 Eyes. So this guy, he's a level 8. He has to be made with Dark, but he copies the effect of a monster in grave, and he gains that name and becomes that monster. Excuse my cell phone, sorry. But and so that's how you can like copy Mirage. You can essentially Mirage your opponent like 4 times. So it's pretty broken. And then 2 Void Ogre. This was really, really good. Like if you have the double Void Ogre board, you don't lose. But it was actually a mistake to play 2. Definitely should have played an Omega instead. Because in testing, I realized that actually came up a lot where you could like make Omega rip a card of their hand, then have Void Ogre, and then Omega comes back to the monster zone, and then you can do stuff like putting the Stygons back in grave or putting the Patriarch back in grave to like keep comboing later on. So this definitely should have been an Omega, but 2 Void Ogres were still really good because I play a lot of True Draco, and it's just a blowout against them. But Omega is also just really good because it gives you knowledge of what your opponent's playing. So like if you go Omega, rip a, let's say for example, a Swap Frog out of their hand, you know to make Tornado Dragon because they're playing Paleo, or you know to make Dweller. Because sometimes blindly Dwellering, thinking they're playing True Draco and they're not, you can just lose. So, but this was still really, really good. I'm glad that I played it, but I wish the second one would have definitely been an Omega. So that's it for the extra deck. And then side deck was Double Ash. This was just like for Trickstar, True Draco, there's just everything. 2 of the DDD Rebellion King. I actually thought I was going to see a lot of that Chain Burn deck. Pretty much what this does is, while it's in your hand, if they would try to burn you, you can special summon it. You don't take any burn damage, and the burn damage you would have taken, you gain it instead. So he's really good because not only he's a low scale, he's a dark, and he's a big enough monster where you can pitch from your hand with Greffer to special summon if he's ever dead. And it makes it where that the Pilum, not the Pilum deck, but the burn deck just can't beat you. And he's a 2600 body you can just put on board to run over stuff. So he's actually really big if you can like special him when his effect. So it's pretty good. 2 Holding Legs. This card was actually just insane the entire weekend. it's pretty much like Giant Trunade. So like if you play against Paleo, they have to chain all their cards. If they can't chain any of their cards, then they probably can't beat you anyway. You can Pilum summon it, and it's just whenever you summon, he gets his effect. You can also get out of the deck with Monk, which actually came up a few times. People have like Warning, and they won't Warning the Monk, they'll try to Warning the Pilum summon. So you can go Monk, get this out, and put all their cards back so the Warning's dead, and then like you'll just beat them. I also beat somebody because they have the Paleo MST. So I search Launcher, and then Pilum summon this. After I brought the Archery back, and then put all of his cards back, and then I not Tornado. Then I made King of the Fair Limps to search something else, and then I just like end up beating him because he just lost. He didn't have anything left. So it's just a really, really good card. And then even if they strike it, being able to banish it from grave to lock down a back row is really good. I did that a few times where I banished it to lock down the back row, and then later on in the game, Levier this back because it was banished to True Nate their stuff anyway. So it was really good. Yeah. 2 Doggeron. I was playing the Dark Kaiju at first, but the night before in the hotel room, we've realized the Doggeron was just infinitely better against like the World Chalice deck if you play it, because if they have the Terraforming Gamma Seal combo, you just can't beat them. That Gamma Seal is going to negate everything. You're just going to lose. So this is how you out it, because generally they'll aim like Firewall and other stuff. You can special summon this because they have the Gamma Seal. If they Firewall it back to your hand because they're awful, you can just special it again because they still control the Gamma Seal. And then you can banish 3. You can remove 3 counters from the field spell at a cost to Regeki their board, and then they're forced to use the last 2 counters for the Gamma Seal to negate you. They have no more counters because the field spell can only have up to 5, and then they can't negate anything else. And it won't get any more counters because this will get banished, not go in the grave, so it won't trigger the field spell to get more counters. So you can just beat them that way too. And he's just a really big body. And at first I thought it mattered because he was a 3,000 monster, but if I'd rather you have this than having a masterpiece. So I'd gladly give you this, and then you can like Firewall it back to your hand and then Firewall and then do it again. So it was just really, really good when I drew it. I didn't play the World Chalice deck. I played it in the 1K, but it just didn't matter. But it was really good in testing, and I was glad that I had it. And then 3 Twin Twister. Shout out to my boy John for letting me use these. Twin Twister was really, really good. I blew out so many people with just Twin Twister. It was actually just insane. The 1 Dark Hole, the 1 Regeki, and then 2 Trap Suns. The theory behind this was games 2, I could go second with like, let's say, Trap Sun and Dark Hole. And if you open like a board wipe, you can board wipe them, set the Trap Stun if you're scared of the back row. You just board wipe them, so they're probably not going to kill you, and then you'll have the Trap Stun for your counter push next turn. And you'll just beat them. It was also really good against Chainburn if I randomly played it. So that was pretty much it. It was really good. I started off really strong, 4-1. Then just got unlucky to like some insane just boards that my opponents were just making because they won the die roll. So there's nothing you can do. But it was a fun weekend, and I'm glad I played this deck. So.
All right, guys, that was the top 32 Infernity deck profile. Brandon, do you have any shout-outs for us today?
Yeah, so shout out to Checkers First. Shout out to Team Nightmare. Shout out again my friend Demonte Cole. Congratulations to Harvey, who also topped. Shout out to Chaz, who got second. And just shout out to everybody. It was a really good weekend. So.
All right, guys, that was the profile. You have a good day, guys.